Good morning, everyone. This is Leah Dixon here from Port Coquitlam, British Columbia, Canada, and I am popping on for my regular Wednesday morning Facebook Live to create a card with you. So I'm just going to come on in here and leave a little comment so that when you guys make a comment, I can see what you guys are saying. All right, so there we go. All right, I've got my comment in, so I'll be able to see you guys. That's great. Oh, good morning, Ruth. So the stamp set I'm using today is called Comfort and Hope. This is a really beautiful stamp set. It's actually one that I earned for free during a promotion earlier in the year. And at first when I got it, I thought, oh, that's so not a stamp set I would have purchased. And then I started to realize like some of the elements in here, it's actually not one that I'll often probably use on its own, although today I am. But it's one that I've used a lot already to create really fun backgrounds and elements to other cards, because it's got like the fun kind of like offset scallop and some really cool things for the background, and even these little like faux rhinestones and stuff like that. Kind of fun. So today I am going to use this stamp set just all by itself and not combine it with other things. So I'm going to grab a piece of cardstock here, and I've got just a regular piece of Whisper white cardstock, and it's cut at 4 by 5 1/4. So this is going to make a nice layer on top of a card base. I'm just going to move the stamp set out of the way. And then I have a piece here of, oh, I always forget the name of this one. This is a new designer series paper. It's Peony Garden Designer Series paper. And so this paper is actually quite lovely. I just got this last night. So it's got, you know, some geometric designs as well as the gorgeous peonies, and it's all in really nice, I believe this is granite gray, Sahara sand, and petal pink are the colors in this pack. And so just a really nice combo of loose textures, geometric texture like patterns, and then the gorgeous peonies. And there's also a really nice one in here. If you've seen anybody creating online with this kind of marbled look, that's one of the pages in this Peony Garden Designer Series paper pack. So I'm just going to move that out of the way. So what I've got here is a piece of paper that I cut at 4 by 5 1/4. And then I actually cut it in half, but on a diagonal. So to do that, I basically just, oh, sorry, this isn't going back nicely. What is going on with my paper here? So to cut on a diagonal, I basically just lined it up on my paper trimmer, which unfortunately is too big to fit in this screen, or I would have shown you. But basically, if this was my cutting board, I lined it up so that one corner, if this is, let's say this darker line here is the blade, I lined it up so that one corner was at my 2 and, let's see, this was 5 1/4, so I lined it up so that it would have been at 2 1/2, and then the other corner I lined it up so that it was at 3 1/2. And what that did was it allowed me to cut on this diagonal but end up with two pieces that were roughly the same size and both had the same angle. So I'm going to be able to actually create 2 cards out of this, because this is going to get glued down directly onto that base, so that it's completely covered up like that. So I'm actually going to use my Stampin' Seal. Looks like I'm using Stampin' Seal Plus because that's what's right at my hands today. It might be a little bit of overkill for this project because I don't really need that kind of security with the weight, but that's okay. So I'm going to take this and just apply this like I would with my snail. And you can use the Seal or the Seal Plus, and it just goes on so quickly and easily and creates a really nice hold. Now, What it doesn't give you is the wiggle room that I like to have with my liquid glue, but that's okay. Managed it. All right, so the next step for this card is we're going to do a little bit of stamping, and I have kind of that little like flowery wheat thing and some balmy blue. I had actually thought about doing this card in Pool Party, but I find that when I stamp Pool Party, it doesn't quite come out with the color that I'd like. All right, so I'm going to just kind of stamp this here, and then I'm going to stamp it off. And I'm going to do that a few times around in kind of a circle-ish way. Oh, now I forgot that I wanted to stamp a little bit lower, so I'm just going to grab, I'm not going to leave that there. I'm just going to grab a scrap paper here and put this down just to protect my DSP. I should have probably done this stamping before I glued my DSP down, but that's okay. And just one more there, and same with the stamped off over there. All right, so what I've kind of done is created like an arc of little flowery, feathery things. And close that up. Now I'm going to attach a piece of ribbon to this, and I'm going to use one of my favorites, but I haven't used it in a little while, and that is the denim. So I'm going to take that and just cut it a little bit larger than my paper. And then I'm going to grab my seal again. And I like to, oh yes you do, Marika. I'm going to put just a little bit of the seal on the back of my ribbon here. So Marika mentioned that she recognizes the layout I'm doing. It's because I'm actually creating a card right now that is going to go for our sketch challenge on our West Coast Creators team. And so I'm using the layout that was presented to us there. All right. When you have 5 kids and I'm taking care of my nephew this week, you have to maximize your time. So I am doing one card that's going to serve 2 purposes. All right, so now I'm going to do a little bit more stamping. I have a piece of Pool Party cardstock here, and this is cut at 3 1/4, and the length didn't really matter because I'm going to trim it, but it's at 3 1/2 inches long. And I've got some Misty Moonlight. I find that the Misty Moonlight really reminds me of denim, and I like to use it with this denim ribbon. So I'm going to stamp up the words Comfort and Hope and pop those right into the center, although I'm not too worried about centering it because I am going to be trimming the ends. All right, and I can put that away for right now. And now you can grab snips to trim the ends, or you can do this my absolute favorite way, which is the tailored tag punch. Well, I think you've got lots of time to get your card in for the challenge, Jacqueline. I believe it runs all month until the end, like until the 30th. So lots and lots of time. I just know that my time seems to disappear rather quickly. So if I don't do it early, I find I don't do it. All right. So we've got that all ready to go onto our card. Now I'm going to grab a scrap piece of paper, and I am going to get that really fun stamp that looked like the thread, because I love using thread on cards, but I also find that it gets caught on things and falls and can sometimes be challenging to work with, or like right now, I've just run out of it. So this stamp is perfect because it can create that look of having that beautiful metallic thread without any of the fuss. So I'm going to stamp this in Versamark. And then I'm going to pull out my silver embossing powder, and I'm going to sprinkle that onto there. So now, to keep my work surface clean, I'm going to grab that scrap paper that we used before and put that underneath. That way when I tap my silver onto here, there's like a paper that's going to catch the excess. And I do use a ton. I always over powder and then tap off into my jar. But of course I also have that paper there to catch the excess. And then I always kind of like flick the back. Now, if you have one of our old embossing buddies, I do highly recommend using them. I have one. I always forget until I get to this stage and then wish I had used it. All right. So there we go. And then you can also use just a fine paintbrush if you want to take away any excess. Mine doesn't need to be super clean because I'm kind of creating that messy look anyways. And then I'm just going to pour the remainder here back into my jar. So that allows me to kind of not waste too much of my powder. As you can see, my powder's actually, I've had it for a long time. I have the old, really old blue label still. So the stuff lasts a long time, still does what it's supposed to do, and it's one of those kind of timeless materials that, you know, grab it now and it'll be good forever. All right, so I'm going to grab my heat gun and we're going to heat this up. So sorry for the noise. Here we go. All right, so got that all heated up. I'm going to unplug my heat gun, and it looks like I got a piece of paintbrush stuck on there, so I'm going to peel that off. Oh my goodness. All right, that's going to get cut off anyways, so don't worry about that. All right, so I'm going to grab my snips now, and I'm actually going to fussy cut this. Now, it's not very fussy because it's a pretty loose, raggedy circle, so I'm just going to kind of come along and leave a very thin, like less than 1/8 of an inch kind of a border around this as I cut it out. And what's nice about this as opposed to actually gluing thread onto my paper is that I am now going to have that really nice white space that I can stamp in. All right, and then come back this way. Okay, so there we have it. We've got our little silver thread all set up there now. And I can put my scissors away. So some of you saw I posted some photos of me getting ready to clean up my office. They haven't posted the after photos because I'm not done yet, but I am doing a really good job of not making a bigger mess. I did not realize how many layers deep things were in here. So I am still working on it. It's happening. All right, so now I'm going to take the sentiment sending you a paper hug, and I'm going to stamp that right in the center. There we go. And here we go. Finishing touches on this card now is we've got to put it all together. So this one I'm actually going to use the Seal Plus and make it a flat layer. I don't need it having any more dimension than it's already going to have. And I'm going to pop that right there. And actually, I want those words to kind of go on the same angle as my ribbon. That's going to be an important piece. Now I'm going to grab some dimensionals. Now, you know me, I'm always using up the little scraps and everything. So I'm just going to trim up some edge pieces here to use for this. And, oh, what's the wow for, Marika? How messy my office was? I couldn't actually believe it, and I've been working on it. I think I've probably spent about 2 hours a day. Well, except for that first night that I started cleaning, I spent 6 hours down in my office that night cleaning, and I found the surface of one table, the one I'm currently working on, and I still have a lot of digging to do on the other surfaces in this room. Oh, thank you, Marika. Yeah, I'm loving this color combo. It's you know, not quite like icy wintry, but not quite fall. I don't know. It just kind of seems to go with this summer, because this summer is not my friend. I am still wearing sweaters and jeans. I have finally resisted the urge to wear my boots anymore, and I'm in sandals, even though my feet are freezing. But yeah, it's awful. Oh, tell me about the other order comes in. I got 2 orders that arrived back to back last night. So I'm going to actually be unpacking those. I opened up one box just to grab this peony paper out of it, but I'm going to be opening up the other 2 tonight and getting busy. I have so many fun things planned. Oh, now I just peeled the backings off of those dimensionals, and I didn't have my card base ready. Luckily, I pay children to cut and score cardstock for me, so I have a Whisper White base all ready to go. It's kind of brilliant. They need money and I need stuff done, so whenever thick Whisper White comes into my house, they take 1 pack and cut it so that we get cards in this kind of vertical direction, and then they take the other pack and cut it so that we get these horizontal cards so that they fold like this. And then I just have them in stacks beside me. And they also do up with my regular, not thick Whisper White, they do up the 4 by 5 1/4 sheets so that I've got good bases to go on card fronts. So super handy. All right, so just about done here. Now I've put that layer on with dimensionals, and now the last one is I'm going to add a really fun new embellishment. These are called Elegant Faceted Gems, and they come in kind of the clear, the petal pink, and then like the shimmery frosted look. And so I think I might actually go with the shimmery frosted look for this card. And so I'm just going to pop a few on here around the outside. And I'm going to line that one up because it would bother me to have it not be in the center. There we go, line that one up with the circle. All right, and that was our final touch on the card. So that is our Comfort and Hope. It is really a beautiful stamp set. And just so much fun to play around with, like some of those background pieces. So I'll just pull that in again and show you. And so yeah, there we go. We've got kind of like that thatched look and the mesh, and yeah, just a lot of fun. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. And yeah, you guys have a wonderful day. I will probably be back on with a video tonight if the kids are quiet. Good luck. Or maybe tomorrow morning, and show you some of the goodies that I got. I got my pre-order as well as a bunch of stuff from the annual catalog. Oh, well, thanks for the hearts, Marika. So have a wonderful day. Bye-bye, everyone.